So here's an interesting one from Drew on the private pilot 150 nautical mile cross country requirement. He's basically saying if he were to plan out his cross country from airport to airport, straight line in between each individual point, it would total to be about 147 nautical miles. But if on one of the shorter legs he altered the course a little bit, he'd be able to get about 153 nautical miles out of it. And he wants to know, would that altered course satisfy the requirement of the 150 nautical mile cross country under 61.109? And so I don't know the background to your question, but I can only assume why you're asking. So I'm going to preface my answer with this is coming to you from my experience as a certified flight instructor only. You'll see in my bio and at the end of all of my videos, I put a disclaimer in there, and that's for a specific reason. Now, when it comes to this one, like all of my videos, I do a ton of research. I look at legal interpretations, I look at advisory circulars, final rules, preambles, I look at any FAA publications, anything I can really dig up and find intent as to why the FAA wrote the rule a specific way so that I can give you a reference for your answer. So sometimes this happens where you don't find much on it, and in this case, I didn't find a whole lot on it. So what I usually do in that case is I go back to the regulation and reread it over and over and over, and I look at each individual word till it makes sense to me. So let's dive into 61.109. The requirement is for a solo cross country, it has to be at least 150 nautical mile total distance, with one flight segment being greater than 50 nautical miles straight line distance. That's the only time in 61.109 where they talk about the flight segment being straight line, and that's only associated with one flight segment. The rest of it is total time. Now let's go to 61.1 and look up the definition for applicability to what we're talking about. We got to select the right definition, which is double I, and that's because it's related to the aeronautical experience associated with a private pilot. So we're going to take that definition and apply it to your specific scenario with the altered course. It has to be in flight, which your course is and your scenario is. It has to be with an appropriate aircraft, which your scenario is. It has to have one flight segment that's greater than 50 nautical miles straight line distance from the point of departure, which yours is. And it has to include pilotage, dead reckoning, radio navigation, electronic navigation, or whatever other navigation gets you to the point of landing, which yours does. Now, it doesn't say you can't use less than 50